I almost can't.
Now you're on camera. There you go.
On my camera.
Yay!
Records,
Yay.
records. Oops, that record.
Yeah, you keep whittling that down. You're doing really well. Yeah, you got the one. There we go.
2 is better than spending 200.
Yeah. Well, you got a point there. I don't have that much either. Yeah, sorry. Got a video. Look at all that. Wow. The sound just disappears because YouTube won't like this.
No, I've learned that a long time ago.
Yeah. I looked at the Middle East section. I was not finding anything that was making me happy.
Me neither. Yeah,
It's pretty bleak.
somebody wiped it out, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it all.
Might have been me.
Very cool. Oh no, here's some.
I love collecting records. I love collecting records. You can tell that. It's passion. It's what brings true happiness to me. I watch almost no TV. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of vinyl community, but otherwise, this is where I spend my time. Every night I take 1 hour to go down and watch a TV show with my wife. She gets to watch whatever she wants on TV. But as I've gotten older, what has really changed in my record collecting is my real passion, what I really love, is to do this with other people. To do this with their members of the vinyl community or any other kind of record collector. I find I get so much more enjoyment with that. This last weekend, Dave, a local bandography out of North Carolina, came up, and he said he'd had these tickets, that were really cheap to get here. And I says, well, just come up and stay with me. So he came up on Thursday night and he left on Monday. And I just had a great time hanging with him. It's the first time I've had someone in my record room sit and I could play music for. And, and we talk about music, and it was so much fun. But not only that, on Friday, we met up with Thijs, Sound of Minder, and we went to a record store, but we also went to a plant, to a record plant to watch them make records, which I'll have a video on eventually on that. It was fascinating. It was so much fun. Went and ate barbecue. It was great. But then the following day, Dave, Thijs, and myself, we met up with Michael from Poetry on Plastic, and Richard S. from the Vinyl Tap Room also came to our first store. And it was great to meet him finally. I'd met Michael a couple weeks before when I went down to Colorado Springs. But here was this group of people looking for records. And the best part about all this for me personally is when we're done, we go eat lunch, we go get coffee, we do something like that, and we sit down and we talk. Because when you're out searching for records, what are you doing? You're looking, right? You're looking, you're focused on what you want, you're going to the listening station, you go and you talk with, hey, when you finding one that, but for the most part, you have your focus going. But when that's all said and done, and you go back to a bar, to a barbecue joint, coffee, and we sit and you talk. And most of the time it's about records, but it's not always about records. It's about us, our lives and things. And it's I find so much enjoyment with that. And you don't have to be a YouTuber. I mean, anybody. It's just, for instance, if you're watching this, you're in the Denver area, you want to go out and do records. Well, I always put my email address in the description. Why? Because if you're interested, you want to go look at some records, I'm more than happy to go. It's not always the records. It's the company you have. Let me show you this. When I set up the wall to my room, and when I did my room tour, I showed this. But to me, this is, and I mentioned it then, this is my favorite part of my record room. Because, but Buddy Guy, I did not go record shopping with. Me and him just were hanging out with my buddy sweatshirt. But these are the people that, I have had just the pleasure to meet through record collecting. And they're all just top-notch individuals. I have never met anybody. And sadly, well, that's from the flood. There's a lot of people I've met that I don't have pictures of because I wasn't doing this. But now I do. And I have more pictures to add to the wall now, I'll tell you that. And it's just the excitement of being with fellow record collectors and doing this. You know, it says vinyl community, and some will say it's not a community or whatever. To me, it is a community of people that we have something in common. And we love records. And we don't always agree, okay? There's a lot of different things in life that we don't always agree about. But one thing we do agree about is we like stuff. We like this stuff. And we want to have more of this stuff. And so that brings us the joy and can bring us together, no matter about other things that maybe we agree or disagree with. And I'm pretty easygoing. You know what, things just kind of go right over me. I just doesn't matter, because I have the enjoyment of meeting people, the enjoyment of talking with them and sitting with them. I mean, one of my greatest thrills is when I met Michael Poetry on Plastic. We went back to his place to spin records, and he spun some stuff, a lot of stuff for me. And it was just a fascinating time listening to this stuff and new music that I hadn't heard before, and to hear his excitement about this music and talking about it. That's really, to me, the best part of this right now. I have a lot of records. There's no doubt. I have a lot of records to show. I bought a lot of records this weekend. I bought too much. We all bought too much. But we had a lot of fun. We had a community. I want to have Dave kind of talk a little bit about this next here, and, you know, thoughts about this. So VC meetups. I have the professional VC meetups here, Dave, and you know, I've known Dave for a long time, since I've been in the vinyl community. But a few years ago, we got together down in North Carolina, and we had a real nice VC meetup down there with 7 people. And you know, for me, you know, I've been record collecting, you know, since I've been very, very young. But what I find my enjoyment now is, Dave, is I really like meetups. I like to meet people. I like to meet other collectors. And, you know, the collecting part's fun. You know, as we're looking at records, that's fun. Where I really get a lot of, my biggest bang for the buck is when we stop and we go to eat. We have coffee, we do something, and now instead of us looking in our bins, we're looking at each other and talking about things, records, life, and it's just fascinating. You know, I think, you know, the social aspects of record collecting.
Yeah, like Saturday,
Yeah.
after Wax Tracks, the crew we assembled here in Denver, we went into a little coffee place and had great conversation. I think one of the topics that came up was, what's the worst live show you've ever seen?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Poetry on Plastic Story. Yeah, that, I don't know if that one will ever be topped.
Probably not.
So maybe if Michael sees this video, I'm not going to try to tell that story.
Yeah.
I'll let him tell it.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of
yeah.
stuff I think you're referring to.
It is. You know, we were down in North Carolina. We went and had barbecue. By the way, we had barbecue up here. If you have a VC meetup and you don't have barbecue, something's wrong with you. That's not a proper meetup. You're supposed to have barbecue, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's mandatory requirement.
It is. But we've met up. This is the second time Dave and I obviously have done this together with a group of people. But you've done it a number of times, and from coast to coast, from New York to
California.
Yeah. What did you really enjoy about those?
Oh, like I stayed with Sherv in California, meeting his entire family.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big highlight.
Yeah.
Because he was gracious enough to host me, and then the same here.
Yeah.
You were gracious enough to host me, and meeting your family. You know, a lot of your family last evening.
Yep.
That was a great, great time.
My grandkid got just began up. Yeah, messing with him, and I did beat him in the game speed, so that's what's important.
Oh yeah, I got pummeled. His son is good at that game,
Yeah.
and he talks trash.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Yeah, he was not going to be denied.
But so that part there again, yeah, you're meeting. It's more than just the record collecting. You
Yeah, but you don't get us wrong. We don't screw around when we're out in these shops.
yeah.
And that was an intense dig on Saturday here in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of rare records were found. A lot of really good new records were found.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was, I found something, I'll put it in your hands.
Yeah.
Steve put the first day, we went out on Friday, was it just the two? It was
Us
two of
and
us and Thijs.
Yeah.
And you put at least 2 or 3 in my hands that day.
Yeah.
Everybody says, "Oh, you're the one that does that." Well, no, we all were doing it. I felt bad though, because Michael, Poetry on Plastic, he kept finding things, and I only have a backpack to bring back records, so I couldn't buy everything.
Yeah, so then Michael just gave them to me instead.
So there was 1 or 2 that ended up, since they didn't have to go on a plane, I got to listen to them.
Yeah.
I mean, we jammed them here we've been jamming records.
Yeah.
Here in the record room, and and there was some bands that I hadn't really delved into too much, like the Dwarves.
Yeah.
And he played that. It's some badass guitar, excuse my language. And I ended up picking up a couple Dwarves 7-inches on this trip because he played it, and I dug it. So,
and that's the exciting aspect of this. We find new music, we listen to we share music as we're out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've had these big meetups. Regretfully, I know, like New York, you got really sick when you went out for that one. And you couldn't go out because you did get sick, didn't you?
Okay.
You've gone to Rochester.
Rochester is I'm always usually fine because I'm home. Mm-hmm. I'm with my folks. And Rochester's only an hour up the road. And usually I meet up with Dom and Joe Dom from Seeking a Thread, Joe from Analog Archive, and Brandon from Faust in the Head. We may have another gentleman from Rochester joining us this next time, which normally is around the holidays. And there's great record stores in in Rochester. Yeah. I live in Charlotte. There are also great record stores there. Obviously, Steve came down and can attest to that.
Yeah.
I mean, dang, you hit what? Noble, Premium Sound, Lunchbox, and Repo.
Yes.
Yeah. All different experiences. Mm-hmm. And that was one thing here. The experiences are always different. Because what we hit at least 4 or 5, I think 5 record stores while I was here.
Yeah.
And so there was Twist and Shout, which kind of reminded me of Amoeba in California.
Two types of wax tracks, that use wax tracks and
new wax tracks. Yep. It's the same building, but I think there's almost a bookstore in between the two. Mm-hmm. And that was very interesting.
Invincible Records.
Yep. And
Tiger.
Yeah, and Tiger. And the owners at both of those 2 smaller shops were awesome. And the owner at Twist and Shout came up and approached us and said hello. So that was very cool.
It's amazing what happens when you have stacks of records. People are interested.
Well, I was wearing this shirt drew a lot of attention to the Great House of Guitars. Everybody wanted to know what that was about, or ask if I was from Rochester. And I'm from that area originally. Lived up there 21 years. I've been in Charlotte 30. But this has been great. Yeah. I've done a lot of meetups. New York was WFMU. That wasn't technically a VC meetup, but man, that there was a lot of VC members that flocked upon New York for that.
But you got together as a group and you did stuff.
Yeah. We did, and there were different groups going on in New York during that. There were a lot of people. I spent a lot of time that first day not even looking in the bins. Yeah. I spent a lot of that time talking to the people I was running into. Chance was there. I ran into Fremer, the professional there from Jersey. Yeah. He was awful nice to talk to. I ran into a lot of people. Notes and Tones was the first person I ran into at the fair was him. Michael, that lives in New York. Joe Analog Archive was there. I was staying with Brandon and Dom.
So
And the Jazz Bums
Yeah.
came.
So
and I missed them because they went the second day and I was ill.
Sure.
And I had to stay at the apartment.
But the opportunities are there to meet up.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just that this is the social aspect of record collecting. It's great to sit and listen to records. It's fun when you can listen with someone else, which, you know, I've really had happen. But when you can meet new people, sometimes you hit it off, sometimes you don't. That happens. That's just life. But the fact is, we're out there, we're meeting new people, we're learning about new things, trying new things, and it makes it exciting. And for me, it's my favorite part, really, now of record collecting. I got a lot of what I want, and I mean, there's always more. You always
you're always willing to try to listen to new things,
exactly.
and that stack you got out of the Wax Tracks New was a lot of new things. But we sat here and we played some of this stuff, and it was all great.
Yeah. Yep.
There wasn't a dud in there.
Yeah. I got a lot of VC recommended albums in there.
Yeah, but because we're professionals, we're not steering you wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so
and I'm willing because I do like to listen to new things.
And I know you're not into free jazz, so I'm not putting no free jazz records in your hands, man.
No.
That ain't happening.
No, he's tried. So, well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. You know, like Dave's been here for the past few days. We've had a good time. You know, it was more than just record collecting.
Bison burgers.
Yeah, Bison Burgers, Garden of the Gods. We went out.
Man.
We did sightseeing. But it's the fun aspect of it. I mean, it just added more.
Yeah, Garden of the Gods, Colorado Springs. If you get a chance to do that in your life, do it. The Air Force Academy's down there. It's picturesque everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Even the football field, the way that sits with the mountain behind it is beyond cool. Like, I'd love to go to a game there. Yeah, very cool.
Yep. So, yeah, VC meetups are more than just that. And I know there's a lot of out there. There's more than there ever used to be. And I hope it keeps going that way because it is, there's the social aspects of record collecting are a lot of fun. We just have to sometimes break out of our shells to do it. All right. Thanks, Dave, for your thoughts. I'm sure we'll be meeting up again.
Oh, yeah. It's your turn to come to Carolina now.
Okay.
With all them miles, you can come for free.
Yeah, I don't know if I can afford it.
Oh, okay. We had Dylan.
So that's it. I didn't show any record. Oh, hold on. No, wait. There's a classical record. Michael put that in my hand. Michael put a lot of records in my hand. He said this is a really, really good pressing of The Firebird from Stravinsky. Okay, so I showed that. Love. Come to think of it, Michael put that in my... I think every record I bought, Michael put in my hand, damn it. Son of a bitch. God, wow, he's good at that. I just had to show a couple records. But there is this enjoyment. Every dig I've ever gone on with anyone, whether it's one-on-one with another person or with a group like I did down in North Carolina, it is always one of the greatest thrills. And I leave each and every one of those feeling great, really happy, meeting a new friend, someone, you know, again, we share the passion with and the hope that we can go do this again. I used to travel a lot for work, so I could see a lot of people. Now I'm a little more limited because without the travel, but there's still a lot of people around and still a great time to be had. Thanks for hanging out with this for kind of a little different video, but one that I was excited to do. Bye.